What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're seeing me for the first time, I'm Intentional Favor, and on this channel I film about faith, lifestyle, studying abroad, and social work. So please, if you'd like to join this amazing family, you are more than welcome to do so. Just hit the red subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that I get notified each time I upload new videos. And to you, the real MVPs, my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much for always coming back to watch my videos. So guys, yeah, please just ignore whatever you can see, all these buzzwords, all these gimmicks. Yeah, this is actually me trying to feel good. This is just me trying to be happy because I don't want to look like what I'm going through. Yeah, believe me guys, a lot is going on in my life now, and I please want to use this opportunity to beg everyone, please don't get mad at me. I know I've not responded to my DM for a while now, my Instagram DM, my email, and the worst, which is something I hardly do, is even replying to comments under my videos. If you know me too well, whenever I release new videos, the first 2 days I always get to respond to like comments, even to give them heart and door. I've not had time, especially my last video. I'm sincerely sorry. Please don't take it personal. I'm not intentionally ignoring you. It's just that life is in phases and I'm going through one now, and I just hope you understand and wish me well. With that being said, guys, in today's video, as you've seen the title already, I'm going to be telling you some things that you can and cannot do with your tier 4 dependent visa, that is your student dependent visa. Yeah, so as you may know, in the United Kingdom, if you are a student on tier 4 visa, on student visa, you are allowed to bring dependents in with your visa, okay? And your dependents can mainly be your spouse and your children, especially children under the age of 18. If they are above 18, you need to show proof that they're actually living with you, they depend on you, and they must not be married and all of that, okay? So without much ado, let's jump straight into what we have for today. So in one of my videos on this series about staying back in the UK after your studies, that video is really loaded. I'm not sure if you've not seen that video. If you really want to stay in the United Kingdom, okay, after your program, after studying, all right, I'm not sure why you've not seen that video. I mean, if you've not seen that video, oh wrong now. Oh wrong, come on, go ahead. I'll leave the link here and also check the description box for the link to that video. You really need to see that video, especially if you are currently on tier 4 visa, on tier 4 dependent visa, and you want to switch to tier 2 visa, and of course meaning that you have plans of staying back in the UK after your studies. The information in that video so rich and you can't afford to miss it. So there's one thing in particular that I said in that video, which is what I want to correct in this video. I think I've been reacting to many of my videos, but it's good I react to my own videos, okay? Yes. So one of the things I said there, which is one of the things I want to highlight under what you can do with your student dependent visa. I said in that video that when you are on dependent visa, you can't actually study in the UK without going or switching to a student visa, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's one of the things I said, and thankfully a subscriber or someone that viewed that video came on board and did not just say, oh no, that's not true, you can actually do so. She also shared her experience, and that's one thing I value. You know, on this channel is all about lived experiences, either my own experience or the experiences of people I know. I bring them on board here just to encourage someone and give you vital information that can help you in your decision making, especially when it comes to migrating to the United Kingdom. Yeah, so this subscriber came on board and said that you can actually study on your dependent visa and not necessarily have to switch to student visa for you to continue studying. Of course, I appreciated that comment so much, and that is what I've carried out my research, and I think that information alone, being that it's a lived experience, is enough research on its own. Yeah, so that's the first thing I'll be saying. One thing that you can do with your student or tier 4 dependent visa is that you can actually study in the UK on that visa without necessarily switching to a student visa on your own. But there are so many ways about it. For instance, this subscriber or the person that left that comment said that for her, she intends going back to her country after her program, and at the end of the day, her husband will have to switch to tier 4 visa to continue his program because her husband actually has is studying 2 years master's program, whereas she's on a 1 year master's program. So when she leaves, of course, when her study visa expires, of course, automatically the dependent visa expires. So her husband will have to switch to tier 4 visa for that to happen. Now, I want us to look into this critically so that we can see how you can go about, because things like this are treated case by case. Your story might not be the same with this person wanting to go back. So let's assume that you are the student and maybe your spouse is a dependent. So I'm talking to the dependents now. So you are a dependent and your wife or your husband, your spouse, is studying a 1 year master's program. For instance, okay, we are going to look at it two ways. Your spouse is the student and is on 1 year program. Then when you came on board, you got admission, you applied, and then you became a student. So you can actually keep studying on your dependent visa. And you know the advantage of this? The advantage of this is that when you are studying on dependent visa, you are not restricted to work 20 hours per week, because it's only student visa that has that limitation on it. Is that clear? Yeah. So you can actually work more than 20 hours. That's one advantage of being on tier 4 dependent visa or student dependent visa, and you are studying at the same time and not on student visa itself, because you have no limitation, because your visa rightly says, or your dependent visa, that you can work as many hours. There's no restriction. So that's one good advantage of it. Okay, so that's one thing I would advise, really, since that is a possibility, you might want to consider it. But it might be good that probably, because I know there are so many intakes. You have September intake, we have January intake, and rarely we have May intake in the UK. So maybe if the student, the spouse, the main applicant is coming in for September, probably what I would advise is that while they are processing all of that, the other spouse can as well apply for January intake. Then that is when you can come in September on dependent visa and your spouse is studying. Then by January, you start your own program, okay? But then let's assume that this other spouse, who is the student now, the main applicant, that she or she is actually on a 1 year program, and you're on a 1 year program too. At the end of the day, she's going to finish, or he's going to finish before you, the dependent. And then what it means is that you have to find a way around it. All right. So if in that situation, I'm trying to explain this in the simplest way, and I hope you catch the gist. So if the student, at the end of the day, let's say they started September, and by September next year, their study ends. Most times in the UK, you are given 4 months after the end of your program. So let's say your program ends September 20th, 2022. Okay, you'll be given extra 4 months. That is October, November, December, January. That means your visa will expire January 2023. Okay, now this student, this dependent, started his study or her study in January, and let's say his own program will end January the following year if it is a 1 year program. So you find out that you can still be on that dependent visa, both of you, and at the end of the day, your programs can come to an end, or your visas are still valid. Okay, but like I've advised in that previous video, you can switch either from a dependent visa. That's the second thing you can actually do with your dependent visa. You can switch from a dependent visa to a tier 2 visa. You can as well switch from a student visa to a tier 2 visa. Okay, so my advice would be, as you are getting to that part end of the day, so the student, in this case, if the main applicant does not want to go back, just like the case of the person I said left the comment under the last video, if you still want to stay in the country, then you can just go back and watch that video and take all the advice in that particular video and try to switch from your student visa to a tier 2 visa. So when you switch from your student visa to your tier 2 visa, your spouse too can also switch as your dependent, okay? Can switch from as your dependent on your tier 2 visa and never would have any need to go through study visa. Does that make sense? And I've said the advantage of this. It means that your spouse can work as many hours as possible and not be limited by the 20 hours per week work restriction on student visa, because he or she is not studying on student visa. So that person can work as many hours as possible. So I think this is a massive advantage that I may encourage people to take. That is, if you have the money, because let's be realistic, not everybody has money to go for another program, because at the end of the day, you still have to pay in it. Yes, of course, you still have to pay for your tuition fee and all. And in some cases, people come here, dependents are here to work and raise money and the student will also be working to raise money to complete the tuition fee of the main applicant. So if for instance that's the case with you, like you are well to do, you can actually afford to still go and apply for another visa, then you can actually do that. You can still work and then you can still study at the same time on your dependent visa. So that's the first thing you can do with your student or tier 4 dependent visa in the UK. You can actually start a program. But let's assume that your program is now 2 years and the student is 1 year. So the student's program will end in September 2022, but the visa will expire in January 2023. And you're on a 2-year program and you started in January 2022, for instance, and then you are going to end your program in January 2024. What are you going to do? The same thing. If the student at the end of January manages to get a tier 2 visa sponsorship job, okay, and switches from his or her visa, student visa, to tier 2 visa, you too can switch from your tier 4 dependent visa and be on tier 2 dependent visa. Okay, that is how it works. And if at the end of the day, let's say the student didn't get a tier 2 dependent visa or anything like that, then the other option is to do what? Go for the graduate visa. So the student can apply for the graduate visa and you too can become the dependent on the graduate visa. All these are just cycles. You just have to know your case, your own, because every situation is unique. Everyone is unique. I'm trying to give different instances of what you can get in family situations when it comes to switching to all these visas. Okay, and I hope that is clear enough. So that's the first thing, and is a correction, and the first thing I want to know that you can do on your student dependent visa. You can actually start a program. You can study as a student whilst you are on student dependent visa. That's the first thing. And of course, the second one, I already said it in that last video, you can switch from dependent visa, student dependent visa, to a tier 2 visa. So all you need, like I said in that video, just get a job that will give you certificate of sponsorship, and then once you get that, they will process your visa, and then the student can either continue with their program or switch to be to be your dependent on that tier 2 visa, or continue their studies. I gave one advice in that video. Because of my limitation, I'm not an immigration advisor. No, I'm not. Please, I'm only sharing information based on my experience and the experiences of others. Just seek advice from your uni on what to do. Sometimes it's actually the best. It's just the best thing to do. All right, yeah. So one may want to know, what then is the advantage of switching from a dependent visa to a tier 2 visa? The advantage there is that it starts counting towards your stay in the UK, unlike being on a dependent tier 4 visa. Now, when you are on tier 2 visa in the United Kingdom and you consistently remain on tier 2 visa for 5 years, okay, then you are eligible to apply for indefinite leave to remain, what some countries call permanent residency. Okay, maybe that's the language you understand. In UK, it is called ILR, indefinite leave to remain. Okay, so when you are on tier 2 visa for 5 years, you are now eligible to apply for indefinite leave to remain in the UK. And then when you've gotten your indefinite leave to remain in the UK, that's your permanent residence permit and all, you continue staying, and once you are on that ILR for 12 months, then you are eligible to apply to become a British citizen. So that's a huge advantage. Unlike the longer routes that you can take from student visa, this visa, and just be beating around the bush, and it takes a longer route of 10 years. Okay, and some things are not even granted. Okay, after your visa, after your graduate visa, what happens next? If you still don't get a tier 2 visa job or get other visas, there are some other visas that you can still apply for. If none of them works, what will happen? You will have to go back to your country. And mind you, the moment you leave UK and then you come back again, you start afresh to start counting your number of years. It's never accumulated that, oh, I've stayed in the UK for 5 years now. You went back and stayed in your country for 1 year or 2 years, then you come back again and you continue the journey. I don't think it works that way. Another thing I just want to add that you can do with your student dependent visa, okay, you can also do the same thing with your student visa, is that you can actually invite people to the UK on UK standard visiting visa. Yay, you can. Okay, so you can actually invite your family members, you can invite people to come and visit you in the UK. They just need to apply. Basically, they need to apply. And I'm not sure when I'll film the video, but I'm going to film a video just to give you tips or guide when it comes to applying for UK standard visiting visa. Of course, I have done that. Okay, I know people that have done that. I'm going to that video. I hope it will be rich because I've seen people that have gotten rejections. Visiting visa, it's not that straightforward. For so many reasons, UK just keeps denying people this visa, and I don't know. So I'm going to share from experience of people that have had their visiting visa denied and those that has gotten it, just to give you tips on how to apply for UK standard visiting visa. Just anticipate that video. Pray for me that all these things going on in my life, everything gets settled. Then I am cool, I am calm, I'm collected. Cause believe me, guys, I have so many content in store for you. And I just want to encourage you, subscribe to my channel if you have not, because on this channel we have lived experiences. We share lived experiences. You can never go wrong with lived experiences. You can never go wrong with lived experiences. So many contents coming your way. Okay, just subscribe and don't forget to please like this video, give it a thumbs up. It goes a long way. And share this video with as many people as possible, and leave comments in the comment section, and also read comments, guys. Read comments. Let's continue this video in the comment section, and I'll be seeing you guys in my next one. Until then, stay blessed, remain intentional, and take care of yourselves. Bye.